The all-new Honor X7d. 5-star SGS Premium Drop Resistant, 6,500 milliampere per hour. Super large battery. IPS Honor X7d. Extra tough, extra power.
iDiskiTV powered by World Sports Betting, iDiskiTimes.co.za. So Orlando Pirates 2, Durban City nil. Umdlalo weBetway Premiership. Orlando Pirates going top of the log for the first time this season. Lindo, besibulisa ubabini umdlalo mfowethu. Orlando Pirates in the last 10 games, they won 9, drew 1. Sometimes you wonder. Yeah, they lost 2.
17 goals scored, 2 goals conceded, 8 clean sheets.
You wonder sometimes if bevule season bengakhange ba lose against isikhukhuni, bengakhange ba lose against iMarumo Gallants, mhlawumbe ngebephi kwilog namhlanje. But into eselangayo is that now they are sitting on 28 points after 12 games.
Don't you think Uguti, that first 2 games propelled this run, even winning the MTN 8?
Yeah, also ujongo lohlobo Lindo.
Remember our conversation in the car, the 3 of us, after that defeat against this Kukun? We were so frustrated. We thought the season is over. No ways. We're going to spend the whole season without a title race.
There was a period last season, Mr. Nkeu, he knows how much I love going to the stadium. I remember the last 3 or 2 games, normally, before score to, he will always remind us, okay, chance, for example, we are meeting on Wednesday. And Galamini said, okay, Shane, you can go to the stadium, it's fine. This thing is wrapped up. So, can you imagine? So, that conversation in the car reminded me of, as I'm the last 5 seasons, and Zaman biggest good in, but this season, it seems like we might be here up until the last game of the season.
Shane,
if he's in those,
but I want to quickly remind you, Orlando Pirates last season, as it stands, they were top of the log. They were out of the Carling Cup and they had won the MTN 8. You guys lost your first game against Stellenbosch, 1-0 defeat, and it was the 1st of December. So where you guys are this season, and as well, you guys were still part of the Champions League, of course. You're just going through. You guys were about to face Abu Al Ahly. It was a very difficult group. I do remember that group. But you guys are now out of ICAF Champions League. You're in the final of the Carling Black Label. Out of ICAF, won the MTN 8. You're 3 points ahead of Mamelodi Sundowns. For me, the only disappointing thing, Jay, is that Orlando Pirates doesn't have one more game to equal the number of games that is Sundowns Chiefs that they will play, because they have a game. That's the only disappointing thing, because I would have wanted Orlando Pirates to end the year being top of the log, and for only one reason, for psychological war that they have to face in the second round of the season, because we saw last season how you guys ended December. December, that's when you guys, even in England, they will tell you it's the golden space for every team that wants to win the championship. Going into December, that level of confidence, making sure that gamers are thick and fast. And the consistency of players, the consistency of performances, it doesn't matter. And what's positive again, Shane, about Orlando Pirates, maybe I think that I have to mention quickly, is you guys sometimes, and you guys look like a league winning team. And one of the reasons why is, Shane, last season for you guys to actually win and get a 3 points, you had to be so good. This season, you genuinely don't have to be so good in terms of how you guys defend. I think the one thing that Uwadu worked on, more especially after those 2 games, is every time Opege Pirates, you were looking at a team that if Ibuyangatis will consider. Credit to the fact that you guys are defensively solid. In Kumuzali team Garulani, when we won the league with losing 1 game where we gave the opponent 0 chances.
Sure.
Remember the game against Sundowns, when we played 1-1 with Tansina Koralila goal. That performance was a statement performance, in my opinion, because you guys absolutely gave Mamelodi Sundowns 0 chances. I was so looking for 0 chances. It goes back to this game. Maybe as a coach, I break down the first half in 15 minutes. I break down in 15 minutes, because there's two critical phases of the game. It's the first 5 minutes and the last 5 minutes. But the middle 15 minutes is the most important, because that's where so many goals happen in football. The first 15 minutes, is most of the time, it's very tactical. You would find that the team is judge what the other team is doing, whether they want to play on a transition, whether they want to circulate the ball, pressing triggers, how do they want to build up? Do they want to build up by using touchline? Do they want to build up central? Do they want to use an extended extra pass? So for the first 15 minutes, sometimes, especially when you watch tactical games, Kevin Hunt is not a small coach. Kevin Hunt is a coach that has been successful in South African football, and he understands how to approach big games. So for me, the first 15 minutes was fascinating in terms of 1v1 pressing. You understand? Kevin Hunt made sure that he has 2 players that press Usbisi and his presses Umbogazi, Usipo China Bamiyegile, because they thought, okay, if we do press Usipo China, then we are lacking numbers. And they did not allow Umbata to play. Which it made sense for me to release Unemta Jela, because now you're asking Unemta Jela to help you build up. You're asking Unemta Jela as well to circulate the game and control the game, and you're also asking him to be in the final third. I think the boy in the last 2 games, the boy in terms of form, which is, it happens, Shane. I always say this in football, not every action is perfect, and not every player will play every game to its 100. The most important thing is that even when you feel with the game, you keep it simple, keep it to the basic. Receive on right, pass on right. Receive on left, pass on left. Do what the game needs from you. If we are born good, okay, if me driving on the ball and trying to be a little bit expensive and sophisticated, maybe I'm putting the team under pressure. Maybe you try and keep it basic, keep it simple. Dlala ma back pass, dlala those negative pass. Make sure that the coach understands, maybe also if he really feels you're not strong in the game, which is what happened. Maga introduce Makaul and Zuma Ketlen Makaul. But Mangata check Shane at Durban City, even the Orlando Pirates in the first half. For me, Ucheka Urilem Fuking. I thought to myself, Rilem Fukeng, Tito, Muremi, the creative department of Orlando Pirates, I'm going to need a little bit more. Without the ball, of course, for sure. There's a reason why they are starting it. Orlando Pirates, the one thing that you can give them credit for, Shane, as well, is the work without the ball. You guys enjoy those actions where you guys enjoy the level of pressing. You initiate that press. You look at Makgopa, who, in my opinion, without Rilem Fukeng's second half performance, I'm very impressed about Tundaba as well, the left back. I think the boy, offensively, defensively, won all his jewels in terms of 1v1 defending, Shane. Unbelievable. I was speaking about Tundaka and Orlando Pirates lacking a left back. The boy has really impressed me today. I remember the first time I hosted my TTP show, I interviewed the boy Dlala as a right back, Umabuya, and they were sitting in a hotel. And so I used to normally ask people, please give me your best 5 players in the league. And the boy akhuluma ngayo Nkosinati Ndaba. I think the people that follow the TTB show would remember. And then I'm versed on it and thinking, And I watched the boy spoke about his technique. Unkumbuza le ntwana edlala ku Golden Arrows on the left hand side, but it's got a similar technique like Undaba. The decision making in the final third, that pass to find Apolis, 1v1 defending, anticipating.
Those runs, foot,
You can see from a conditioning perspective that the boys knew Orlando Pirates has never maybe gotten that level of development, that level of training and conditioning. He has to improve his body size, more especially when we want to use him in big match pedigree, KEF Champions League, where the body and the size matters. In terms of intelligence, very intelligent. Game, he knows good Magal Pasile a center. He waits for a negative and he waits for a positive and a negative touch. If one either or happens, he overlaps. Very intelligent in terms of Magal receiver on the wider areas. He always seems to be free. Another player that impressed me the most, Shane, is evidence Makgopa. Shane, I want to take accountability. Last season, I said to the boys, a centre back, and I have to do this. Take accountability. And for me, Shane, Ungezana is a typical example of judging a player very too kick.
Yes.
And maybe it's a lesson for me, myself. To be honest with you, Shane, I think Orlando Pirates has a striker.
Evidence Makgopa.
I think Orlando Pirates has a striker. I think it's more now about belief. Play the boy. Start him in terms of link-up play. Besihleli last beke notso. Kunale bhola leli bamphasa under pressure, beke chestin, albeka phansi, and he controls
you said ungayilose boy. Ungayilose, and he didn't lose it.
Ngicela ungalose boy. He brings that, he gives Umremi. Keeps it simple, he touches the ball. Kunalaba afuna ukumsebenzisa as an extended extra pass, which is something bengikhala ngo-Ikram Renas izolo ngithi. Sondela uzothasha. Sometimes usifuna ukuphuma ngawo because under pressure, basipressile. uKevin Hunt wenza sure ukuthi kunama numbers lapha phambili. So we need a striker sometimes with that drop in midfield azosinika an extra pass. He comes, he adds those extra passes, and he doesn't lose the ball. Very clean, well weighted as well. He becomes a link. He becomes a link between the midfield and the attack. I thought for me, Makgopa brings out the best in the Orlando Pirates. He creates so many artificial attacks. His dynamic movement. He has the ability of running behind the defense. He's got the ability of playing in the red zone. I think today, in my opinion, was one of the best performing players at Orlando Pirates in terms of his role at the club. I think the boy, he scores a goal, which is important for his confidence as well. Scored against the Chipa opening goal. He scores today the opening goal, which is big for his confidence. Makgopa was not a player that used to convert. I like the two-touch in the box. Coach Rulani, Coach Patela. Those coaching details are very important in the box. Take a touch in the box.
Lindo, tell me, 2024-2025 season, Makhehleni Makaula, midfielder of the season. The season, he was out due to injury. Remember last game in the Nedbank Cup against Chiefs where he got that injury. Evan Gogo, he was out.
Yeah.
Now he's been introduced a team gradually. I think his last game was against Chipa.
Yeah.
Namhlanje he came in very early in the second half. Second half, one game, Makhehleni Makaula. And I saw when your reaction, sometimes guy petty baller, his decision making, sometimes will make a forward pass, sometimes guy okay, there's no space, he will bring it back to Sipo China. Makgopa, would you say right?
Very important player for Orlando Pirates.
Because why Busa must remember, Usihle Nduli, who started the season with Orlando Pirates, is out injured. Now they have one last game before Bayagui AFCON. Do you think Makgopa right for Orlando Pirates?
When he came onto the pitch, the performance of the team, that's the biggest credit you can give Makgopa.
Yes.
When I was watching the game, when I saw him entering half time, I saw the Orlando Pirates performance it increased. I saw Mbata playing a little bit better in the hole as an 8, replacing Unemta Jela, who had that job. I think Mbata as well looked very good next to Makgopa. In terms of ball interception, in terms of reading the game, in terms of knowing when and how. Experienced player, their position if I'm number 10, I shall know Shane. And I think that Makgopa made sure that he deals with the Durban and transition up. We didn't see a lot of them, but every time when he wasn't without the ball, the rest defense looked a little bit better. You would see every time he ball along, you would see a 3-2 with him no matter. I felt that he was very important when they introduced him. I think he freed even players like Abu Rilem Fukeng. Rilem Fukeng started to play better. The Apolis, even though when he came in second half, they subbed him. Apolis started to play better. I also feel like with playing those two in midfield, closer to the centre backs, or rather closer to the defense, allowed the fullbacks to be a little bit advanced, which is Undaba, and bring in the Umfukeng no Apolis closer to the red zone or the golden era where they are dangerous. Because I felt like Umrem is too far away from the goal, in my opinion. Even though that intercrete passes, he takes a shot to Darren Kidd, makes a save. I just felt like, okay, he's too far away from the goal. Urile himself, I felt like, first half is too far away from the goal. But Maba introduced and good game reading from the coach, because he understood that, okay, maybe I might need a base, because these guys are anticipate my transition in the second half. He said, I need a base, but in that base, I also need to sacrifice something. I'm going to sacrifice one fullback. Ulibito did his job on the right-hand side. I think he was exceptional as well. Undaba, he will be a little bit advanced because he's got a good cross pass. But now I'm going to bring Urilem Fukeng more as a number 10. Utito as well, he gave them depth, because now he had people playing around him. Because Utito sometimes Momdlali is an isolated number 10, because he's more of a short passing player. We even said not so. They're asking him something. They're asking him to run a little bit. They're asking him to run a little bit behind the defense, which is probably not his strength. But Mpasenya, and I felt that when they started playing those short passes, that's when they broke. He even scored a goal of a high quality.
Goal, yeah.
It's a goal of a high quality. Shane. Decision making. They play in the final third as if not Basembizeni. The composure, the decision making, or Apolis, to even find that pass, or Apolis to take a touch. That weighted pass to find Tito Maswanga using his weaker foot. You watch the Orlando Pirates performance in the second half. First half, in my opinion, I'm going to be honest with you, Shane, not convinced. Yeah. In terms of the creative department, I wanted a little bit more. Defensive, Lumboga is unacceptable. The boy needs to be told, even at a young age, you're overconfident, boy. Sometimes keep it simple. You're playing for a club that wants to compete for the league. Does he understand that? For sure. You can see from the psychological profile of the boy. But sometimes is wrong. We don't want to always highlight, but it's always important to cause. Usbisi needs his confidence. I think Umfano Shawa confidence in football, confidence is very important. Shane, Maucho Usbisi, he does look like a liability in terms of I'm team I'm target, in terms of pressing triggers. He, even on the ball, he looks really uncomfortable. Every time Magapeti ball, I feel uncomfortable a little bit. But the boy has done exceptionally well the previous season. I'm expecting his confidence to be a little bit high. I understand that the performances Garcia has been keeping on the bench. Unda is on the bench there. He probably fears that. But overall, Mangati, I check at the second half performance of Orlando Pirates. Really convinced. Good substitutions. In terms of players that impressed me, very impressed Ngondaba, very impressed Ngopaldoski, very impressed Ngorilem Fukeng, man of the match, well deserved. Good performance from the boy.
If I don't stop him, he will never stop. Let me rather otherwise if I didn't value thank you so much for it. Moses Mabhida Stadium, Orlando Pirates were the visitors to Durban City. Orlando Pirates 2, Durban City 0. Thank you so much for watching iDiskiTV.
Boom. Shapunjan bafowethu igama lami Lindo Pep, the best analyst in the country. Please don't forget to subscribe to iDiskiTV. Tanko.
This is Bongane Benedict Villagazi, they call me so. Niazi bafethu, I'm a coach for life. They are back in winning ways. Please, subscribe to iDiskiTV.